Moksha, I'm 10 years old and a UN Water Week ambassador. We children are the ones who are most affected by climate change. I've spoken at events around the world, to decision makers, to world leaders, and at the COP climate change conferences. We need to start empowering children. I want to talk to you about a water crisis that is happening right now and that has already started to affect you and the people around you.
England is experiencing its driest start to the year.
The country sweltered through the fourth heat wave of the summer.
8 million people in England will have restrictions on their water use.
Roughly half of the world's population is experiencing their water running out for at least part of the year. To stop that, we all need to be using a lot less. Because while nearly all of our planet is covered in water, believe it or not, only 0.5% is usable and available. That's the fresh water in our lakes and rivers. But because of climate change, that source of water is now disappearing dangerously quickly. In this Sky Kids special investigation, I'm going to find out what could happen if we carry on as we are.
It might be that there's not enough water for rivers to flow. There might be times where the water has to be cut off.
Show a family how much water they're using every day.
Oh, wow!
Oh, wow.
I feel kind of like overwhelmed.
And show what we can all do to help save water. Plus, I'll hear how floods are making the problem even worse right here in the UK.
Woke up one morning and there was water up to the window of our living room.
We travel to another part of the world where young people like us have to go and fetch water for their families and face danger doing it.
When the water level is high, it sweeps people away and they drown.
We're asking whether climate change could mean we run out of clean water. So, let's start by asking, why is the water running out?
We are using more water than there is available, particularly clean water. The big overarching trend is climate change. It is making droughts more intense. That means that more water is licked off rivers and reservoirs. And then when more water evaporates, that means that when it rains more heavily. When it rains really heavily, it's hard to capture that water. Systems weren't quite designed to cope with that.
In 30 years' time, we might actually face a shortfall of 5 billion litres a day. Now, that's a huge amount. The impacts we see will be quite widespread, so it might be that there's not enough water for rivers to flow, and that means all the wildlife that lives in the river might not survive. It might mean that we face more restrictions at home. There might be times where the water has to be cut off for 4 hours, 12 hours a day. It might be that there's not enough water for farming to grow the food we need to eat. But if we take action now to save water, to use it more efficiently, and to find new supplies, that doesn't have to happen.
To fully understand the UK's water crisis, we need to know where it comes from in the first place. Well, it might sound obvious, but it all comes from up there. But how exactly does it get from the sky to our sinks?
Well, rain collects in the rivers and the streams and in reservoirs like this one. Reservoirs are really important. So we use big pumps to lift the water out of the river and then we hold it here for when we need it.
Over the summer, we heard that a lot of reservoirs got really low water levels. Why was that and how bad was it here?
So over the summer, which has been really hot and dry, there is less rain, but also people use a lot more water. And so we've had to use our reservoir storage. We produced an extra 11 billion litres of treated water, a lot more than we normally would.
The water is treated and goes through a cleaning process. That's because all the water that goes into our homes, whether it's for the kitchen sink or the shower, has to be drinking quality.
We've taken the water out of the reservoir and now we've added a chemical. And the chemical is sticking together all the very fine particles that are in the reservoir. All those little pieces and particles that we've stuck together, we're now floating to the top of this tank with air and we'll scrape them away. So here we are at the filters. The water filters through about 1 metre of anthracite, sand and gravel.
After going through a disinfection tank, the water begins its journey to us. But a lot of it never arrives, and that's because of leaky pipes.
Leaks can be quite tricky to find, especially if they're deep in fields and forests. And the aim of the game is to find them before they come up through the pavement. So we've started using drones. And so using thermal imagery, we can see problems under the ground.
But despite using cameras like this, roughly 48 litres of water per person is lost every day through leakage in England and Wales. That's the same as each of us tipping 24 big bottles of water away every day. Maybe you spotted leaks where you live. People complain that water companies aren't doing enough to stop them. Do you think you're doing enough to tackle the problem?
Last year, we fixed 60,000 leaks, and we put a lot of effort into monitoring our network. But sometimes things go wrong.
The journey from rain to rivers and reservoirs, through the treatment centre and down the pipes to our taps can all take place in as little as 10 hours. That's really fast. So that's where it comes from. But once it gets into our homes, how much water do we actually use? And is it possible to use a lot less? Time to do a little experiment. Just need a regular family to do it. Well, that's convenient. Meet the Walsh family. 12-year-old Savannah, 9-year-old Lucas, Mum Anne, and Dad Kieran. So who uses the most water in the house?
My dad, he uses sprinklers.
Well, probably either me or my mum, because we both love baths.
Anne uses most water and she loves a bath.
I think that is probably me. I generally have a shower to wash my hair after the bath.
These recyclable paper cups hold around half a litre of water. How many do you think your family's water usage would fill in a single day?
Let's go for 40?
Like 10, 12.
Somewhat between 500 and 1,000.
I'd say, I don't know, 500.
To find out who's closest, we're fitting a smart water meter to the family supply, which will tell exactly how much water they're using over a week. And this is the person who's going to be looking at it. Jane Bellard is a water-saving expert who helps families stop wasting water. So, what's she discovered after a week? Outside, we've got your average daily usage in these half-litre cups. Let's see how much water you've actually been using each day.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
So there are 888 cups here because each person is using 111 litres a day.
That means the family are getting through over 3,000 litres a week, or 160,000 a year. That's over 1,000 bathfuls. How are you feeling about this?
I feel kind of like overwhelmed almost. Definitely wanting to make a change.
Although the water they use is pretty normal for a family of 4 in the UK, they need to be using a lot less to help with the problem, just as we all do. Jane's got some top tips on how they can do it.
So I'm going to give you a timer to see how quick you can make your showers.
My hair is really long and it takes a while to wash.
You can turn the shower off while you're lathering your hair, and that will save 10 to 20 litres just there. Actually, dentists recommend that you just put toothpaste on your brush and you don't actually wet it. It's better for your teeth and it's better for you not to rinse your mouth, so just wash your toothbrush at the end. A hose uses 1,000 litres an hour. So what you can do is use a watering can. Even better, get a water butt attached to your downpipe on your drains, and then you can use rainwater.
Let's see how they get on.
So, I'm going to tie my dad in the shower. Okay, ready, Dad? And start. Time's out! Today I timed my mum in the shower and it's 8 minutes and 37 seconds. I just beat my shower time with 2 minutes. Today I'm watering our tomatoes with a watering can.
So after a week, how did the family do? They were using an average of 888 half-litre cups of water every day. Let's reveal exactly how many cupfuls of water they have saved over the last week.
Oh my God. That's good. Wow.
You have knocked 1/3 off your water usage.
Wow.
That's 288 cups of water every single day that you're saving. And if you can keep that up over the course of the next year, you will save £550 off your water bill. You are now down to using half the national average. So well done, congratulations, all of you.
Amazing work by the family, but there are loads of other ways we use water that most of us wouldn't even think about. For example, growing cocoa beans to make chocolate or cotton for clothes can use lots of water. And manufacturing things like jeans that involve a heavy washing and dyeing process uses even more. So, after recycling those paper cups, I'm heading to a school in Coventry to see if people are aware of some of these big offenders. This cup holds half a litre of water. How many litres of water do you think it takes to make one chocolate bar?
A litre.
2 litres or 3? Actually, it's 74 litres.
That much? Just for like one?
What? That's not what I expected.
That's a lot.
How about a t-shirt?
Like, because the cotton, cotton and synthetic materials. 2 litres?
Actually, it's 2,700.
What?
One t-shirt. What about a pair of jeans?
Jeans? They need water?
7 or 8.
7 or 8?
Yeah.
I think it might be 40 litres.
It takes 3,781 litres.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Way too much. Water's being wasted.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water.
And that's why some people are now taking action and doing simple things like buying clothes secondhand. We can all make simple choices to use less water. But this water crisis we are experiencing isn't just about too little water. Climate change means that increasingly we are getting too much as well. As we heard earlier, as well as getting more dry weather, we are also seeing more storms too. Very heavy rain can be difficult for rivers to handle because too much water falls in one go. This can cause them to burst their banks and lead to devastating flooding. And that's something 16-year-old Amelia knows only too well. In 2014, Amelia and her family moved to Shropshire, home to the world's first iron bridge. They thought they'd found the perfect place to live and grow up, overlooking the River Severn. But that all changed one January morning.
So in 2020, I was around 11 or 12 and just woke up one morning and there was just water in the garden and it was up to the window of our living room. It started coming in from our kitchen and gradually coming in through little gaps in the walls and the door. The highest the water got to was about this fireplace height. I was obviously feeling a little bit scared. We just decided that we were going to put as much stuff as we can, store it upstairs, into the loft, into the bedrooms. We didn't have many escape routes. We only had this skylight window that we had to put a ladder down and climb out through that and go through all the neighbours' gardens. We had to get a few pumps in. We also had flood barriers up on the doors and had to seal the windows so no water could get in.
So after about 5 days, the water drops. We're left with just not nice silt and residue from the river. It takes a long time to clean up because there is a lot of bacteria and germs in the river. We was cleaning the house after the first flood and we got a visit from the fire brigade saying to not bother as there's going to be expected another 2 floods coming.
And sadly, the floods have kept on coming.
When we first moved in, we was told that it hadn't flooded for decades, but ever since we moved in, it had been flooding every single year now, or 2 or 3 times a year.
As well as coping with the floods themselves, Amelia and her family spend the winter living with the worry that it could easily happen all over again.
If we have heard that there's 2 storms coming back to back, then we know that we're in trouble, that flooding's going to appear. For the river to reach us, the water has to rise by 6 metres, which sounds like a lot, but can happen very quickly.
Around the world, extreme changes in weather driven by climate change can be even worse and have devastating effects on precious water supplies. Extreme floods can destroy water pipes. Then long periods of scorching heat can dry up the water. Accessing clean water from wells or springs becomes almost impossible. And that affects everything, from having a usable toilet to even being able to drink. Oromia in Ethiopia is one of the areas worst affected by the climate. There are flash floods and devastating droughts. Large parts of it have no pipes carrying water to the people there. In the village of Sirima, just in thousands of other communities, it's the responsibility of young girls to go on long treks collecting water for their families.
We get our water from the Damal River. We often collect it 3 times a day. It's very hot when we go out and come back. We carry the water on our backs. It all leaves me feeling tired and angry.
The place where we collect water is too far. When we go to collect water early in the morning, we don't arrive at school on time, and so we miss classes.
If we do want to go to school, we might not get water to maintain our hygiene. But if we go to collect water, the school day can be over by the time we return, and so we then face punishment at school.
Flash floods mean this river can quickly overflow.
When we collect water, we are fearful. The river is very big. When the water level is high, it often sweeps people away. Those who know how to swim manage to get out, but others can't.
Despite that exhausting journey, we still can't get clean water, and that makes us angry.
Because of the increase in droughts here, farmers have had to move their livestock to higher ground. That's led to waste from the animals getting into the river high up, meaning the water further down becomes even more contaminated as it collects.
It is dirty and brown in colour.
It has worms and donkey manure in it. That is the water we are collecting and what we drink.
It contains garbage. On one side, people wash their clothes, and on the other side, sewage flows into it.
Consequently, people are suffering from diarrhea and vomiting.
Sometimes, after drinking the water, people even die.
Until recently, the nearby town of Harrow-de-Mall had no clean water system, meaning young girls were having to trek miles to the nearest water spring.
We used to collect water by crossing through many forests. We would go early in the morning and might not collect the water until 12 o'clock. We came to school late and missed classes when we returned. That had a big impact on our education and affected our results. Because the school toilet wasn't clean, we didn't use the one that was there. There was no running water in the school at all.
And that caused a problem with their education.
Girls, especially when they were on their period, would often be absent from school out of shame due to lack of water.
Even after they returned, they couldn't follow lessons properly. Many of them left school.
As a girls' student, I felt really angry because girls were being denied an education.
4 years ago, the charity WaterAid began work on building special pipes partly funded by the UK government that transports clean water from a mountain spring down to Harrow-de-Marle. It means the 46,000 people living here can collect clean drinking water from points around the town.
These people are getting water of a much better quality than what they used to have.
This community has seen great improvement. They are so relieved.
And the school also now gets running water, as well as a central point where students can get drinking water and wash. They have new male and female toilets and special washing rooms.
The water has a huge benefit on our lives. It saved us from disease. It enabled us to pursue our education properly. Education helps a lot. It means we can work toward what we want to be in the future.
I'm really very happy. Here, the stress for girls has gone away.
Thankfully, pipes are now being installed in the village of Surma, bringing an end to filthy water and dangerous trips for young girls there, as well as a chance to stay in school and pursue a hopeful future. It just goes to show the difference clean water makes to lives and reminds us how precious it is. So it's clear that the water crisis could affect everyone on the planet, but it can be averted. This month, COP30 is taking place, where prime ministers and presidents need to decide what action they'll take on climate change. So, listen up, leaders. We've got a message for you.
Make it easier for people to live greener lives. Stop people polluting and littering our rivers. Producing electricity uses lots of water, so we need to be using less electricity too.
Everyone should have access to clean and filtered water.
Protect our future by saving water now. Saving water today will save our future for tomorrow.
Clean water is crucial for human life. It has solved so many problems here. We ask you to help us make that happen in other towns as well.
Here we need clean water.
Our voice needs to be heard. The world relies on us as much as it relies on you.
We are your future, depending on you to make the next generation better.
The change begins today. It's now or never. Our future is in your hands.
As world leaders, you have the power, and we children are counting on you to be brave, responsible, and to act now.